Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
Unstoppable, do the impossible, we the undeniable, royalty indefinable, don't need the perfect day for my victory to be had, the rain is just clearing my path, we roll on.
Welcome to my brand new podcast, Insights with Anika. This is a spin-off from my company, Insight Consulting Group. By day, I go in and I help various businesses with business strategy to work towards the success of their business. But now I get a great opportunity to work with women on to inspire them and to encourage them and to influence them that are business leaders, who are career women, who are entrepreneurs, and trying to push them to be successful in their life, whatever their goals are. Today, this show is about women of influence, and I have the perfect guest, very first guest for this show. Her name is Marian McDaniel. And she is the first Black female fire chief in Rockdale County. Now, how exciting is that? And what a way to start a brand new show, Insights with Anika. Welcome back from our commercial break. I am so excited. We have here our first Black female chief of Rockdale County here with us. I am so excited. Saying those words make my heart full and make me smile.
Yes, mine as well.
Makes me smile.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Most
Thank you
welcome.
for being our first guest. I couldn't think of a better person for today's show as a woman of influence than to have you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna jump right in because I'm so excited.
Let's go.
How does it feel?
You know, I'm tired. I'm excited. It's a mixture of feelings. You know, this is not something I ever aspired for, to be at this level, but to be honored and respected and to know that the confidence in me to serve the citizens as the fire chief of Rockdale County Fire Rescue is a tremendous feeling.
You know, I had the opportunity to meet you, gosh, man, it's about 3 years ago
Yes,
now.
Yes.
And at that time, you was retiring from the city of Atlanta.
Correct.
And I've seen you work in Atlanta. I've got to hear stories from the people of the city of Atlanta. I've seen your work in Rockdale County. It was evident that this was your path.
Correct.
You are amazing, incredible, and you know exactly what you're doing. Rockdale County is in some good hands,
Yes,
let me just
they
tell
are.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But tell us about your career journey that led you to this highest achievement.
Well, once again, 36 years old, single mom of 3,
Wow.
and looking for a career change. I wanted to provide the best life possible for my children and secure my retirement. One of the things my parents instilled in me is, baby, make sure that you can retire and not have to work and struggle, that you can enjoy your life. And so I was driving to work, was working for Kaiser Permanente at the time.
Wow.
And Clayton County was advertising for firefighters, and my son's dad, who's a firefighter with Atlanta, said, hey, you might as well apply for Atlanta. And I did, and the rest is history. So at the age of 36,
Wow.
my children were 2, 4, and 10. Bloody knees, blistered ears, and all. We made it through.
Wow.
Became a firefighter, went on to become a paramedic. And just every chance I had, I wanted to educate myself to make myself better and marketable in the fire service. At the age of 45, returned to school, completed my bachelor's, went on to get my master's, and
Wow.
just pushing forward all the way, hard work and dedication.
How has the community embraced you in this new role?
Oh wow, beautifully. Yeah, once again, as you said, October will be my 4th year here in Rockdale County, even with the men and women of Rockdale County Fire and Rescue. So they know me. I'm out and about. I lived out here for a while. I do a lot of my business out here, groceries, shopping, everything. I'm out and about, and someone's always walking up to me, and it's really pretty cool. I was in BJ's, and a gentleman walked up to me that retired from Conyers, Rockdale County Fire, but started at Conyers. And he talked about how much he heard about me, and he had been gone for years.
Wow.
So it's a good feeling. We all, I believe, like to be supported and be validated in a sort.
Absolutely.
And so having someone walk up to me and say, hey, I hear great things about you, and I see you, I like what you're doing, it's pretty cool. It lets me know that I'm going the right way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What have been some of your barriers in this field? Because when I think of fire, I think of it being a male-dominant field.
Correct, absolutely. The fire service is a male-dominated profession. Always has been, always will be to an extent. Of all the professional firefighters nationwide, 4% are only women.
Oh, wow.
And so as I was looking at, I was offered the position, I accepted, and I knew at some point in time I need to make a speech of sort. I wanted to be able to reference the number of women, both black and white, that have achieved this rank. Well, there was no information. But I can tell you it was information on the males, how many men made fire chief. But I was able to determine that I am the 12th African American woman to reach the rank of fire chief in the nation.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yes, so that I know for sure. But barriers, I think like with any profession, barriers are what you make. You have to push forward and just always know that hard work is part of it. Nothing in life is easy, and do we really want it to be? Because that's how we learn. We learn from that. That's our growth. So hardcore barriers that sort of stick out in your eye, I can't say I had those. I do know they exist.
Right.
But for me, I just worked hard, stayed focused on my goal, and didn't let anything come in the way.
Outstanding.
And even with that, I, once again, wasn't looking for a post-fire career, to be a fire career, but I was approached about the opportunity, thought long and hard about it, and here I am.
You have an amazing platform. So one thing that I wanted to do on this podcast is to encourage, influence, and also allow this to serve as almost like a mentorship for just women.
Right.
We don't have enough of that.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So in your field, will you start encouraging more women to look at fire and try to change the image?
Already has, and it's just very difficult, reaching out to young women or going to the schools, talking to them. They have their preconceived notions about what a woman in this role is, or from a personal perspective, and letting them know that regardless of whether she is or isn't, that's beside the point. When I was coming up, you either were going to military or college. Well, you can become a firefighter at 18. Many of our young men grasp hold of this. They're coming in at 18, not knocking college because it's still very important. But in 4 years, they have 4 years of experience as a firefighter, whereas their counterparts are coming out of college, possibly looking for jobs, or only to end up becoming a firefighter and building that career that way. So letting our young women know that this is a viable option for you as a career, not just a job, a career.
That's right.
As I said, I was 36. I was a single mom of 3. And this has allowed me to provide for my children beautifully. It's allowed for me to secure my retirement. And now my role, I'm here for others. I'm here to provide those opportunities for folks that may not otherwise get them, because of you got to be able to look past. All of us have a past of some sort.
That's right.
To some degree. And so often we are, particularly in the African American community, let's be honest, are passed up for things because of that one minor mistake we made 10 years ago. And so now with the hiring, when I first started here, we were 5 blacks, including myself, and now we're at 28, 29.
Oh, wow,
in that time,
that's
and there's
incredible.
still, you figure, there's still a small number looking at the 150 so-odd personnel we have. But Rockdale County, 64% of the population in Rockdale County are African American.
Wow.
We want our fire department to resemble that. We're not saying we need to have a totally black fire department, but we need to be representative of the communities we serve,
Absolutely.
to include our Hispanic community.
Absolutely.
So that my platform is to get out, give those opportunities, build the best Rockdale County Fire Rescue that I can do. Not saying I'm going to be the best chief they ever had, but I am going to do my best to make this the best organization possible.
Well, I think you are definitely going to trail the blaze, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited, but we have to take a break here for another commercial break. Stay tuned, and more coming back with Chief McDaniel.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
Welcome back to our show. Again, the very first podcast with Insights with Anika. We still have our fantastic guest, Chief McDaniel. You gave us so much information on the first segment. A lot of good information, and I'm hoping there's someone young out there listening, and not even young, like you said, you started at age 36, to say, you know what, this is a different image that I even thought of, right? Because there's so many different aspects to fire. People just think you just ride on the truck and that's it. No, it's so many different layers to it.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about a little bit of the layers that comes in with fire?
Absolutely. And to do that, I want to go back to Atlanta Fire and acknowledge that, because that's where I started as a firefighter. And you know, it's funny sometimes folks say, so I already know when they start off like that where they're going, but it pretty much says, so you fought fire? I was like, yeah. Blisters, back of the truck, holding the hose, all of that, I've done it. But once again, coming in as a firefighter in EMT, I continued on to become a paramedic because that would have allowed me to grow professionally as well as provide the best medical care I can for the people I came in contact with. And from that, working through the various departments within Atlanta, from downtown, I was at the Station 10 near the zoo, went to the airport, for airport operations, worked on the fire truck at airport, also worked on the transport units at airport. Then being promoted up to a lieutenant, working in internal affairs, working in community services, continued that path, became a captain, working as the assistant to the deputy chief of the airport, serving as the public information officer with our emergency management agency, and back to the airport as an EMS captain of supervisor. And from that, I started getting into the chief ranks. In between that time is when I was doing my education and getting myself prepared. And so January 2015, as a matter of fact, I was promoted to chief and over emergency medical services, that division. Stayed there for about a year and a half, and then the fire chief moved me to internal affairs as the chief there. And that was a great experience for me. And I must say, to my heart, my personality, my understanding, and the way I deal with people, the core of who I am, really helped. Because once again, you're facing someone that's up against something, and it's not about win, lose, it's about getting down to the facts, how we can correct that behavior and move forward.
That's right.
And so I was really appreciated for that, as opposed to previous administrations. And from that, I actually retired from Atlanta Fire as an assistant chief of EMS. So full circle. And retired September 2017, but leading up to that, was approached about this position as a deputy fire chief. And I was like, okay. So my line and my experiences vary. And coming now at Rockdale County as a deputy fire chief, I was able to bring a lot of that over. That's really been appreciated, actually. And now as a fire chief, I tell people I've been at the table. I made myself stay engaged with Atlanta Fire and engaged at every step of my career. So I've been at the table when those decisions are made.
That's right.
But I say, what a wonderful feeling that not only am I at the table, I'm at the head of the table.
How about that?
So whereas I used to have to push suggestions up, I am the one that's able to put those into effect.
I love it. Did you have any mentors along the way? What I'm learning is, especially when it comes to women, and let me speak specifically to Black women, you know, we all trying to find that playbook on how to achieve the success. We see other people, but not a whole lot of people trying to bring
Correct.
folks up.
Correct.
Did you have anyone to help you in paving your way in your success?
Absolutely, and I want to start it with my parents. That's that initial foundation, because as I said, I entered into this profession because of my children. That what my parents instilled in me, I saw my parents were separated, but they raised me as best as they could.
Right.
But my mom, watching my mom work hard and make sure my sister and I had what we need, I wanted to make sure that my children were good, as well as myself. And so moving on, and boom, now here we are at the fire department. And when I talked about me being the 12th African American fire chief in the nation, Rosemary Cloud worked at Atlanta Fire, and she retired as an assistant chief.
Wow.
And she went on to become the fire chief of East Point Fire Department, and the first African American fire chief in the nation.
How
and that
about
was
that?
April of 2002. So
Wow.
here we are 18, 19 years later, and one of my earliest mentors, I'm following in her footpaths, steps that she laid for me. And I remember, being at Atlanta Fire, and she said, "Hey, I want you to do this. Hey, I want you to do that." And I said, "Well, I don't know." And then that was the first lesson in that. When you ask for help and people extend help, you got to be ready to take that help. If you want guidance, you ask for guidance, I'm providing you with the guidance, you got to be ready to take it. And I was. And I contribute that to her. But along the line, I have Joel Baker, James Cochran, just so many more. Randall Slaughter, who just retired from Atlanta Fire, Rod Smith, who's a new appointed chief, Valerie Jackson, one of my best friends in life. So there are plenty of people
I love it.
that I can reach back to and pull. People that are going to check me, hey, I don't know, let's just roll back. But I want to take that into now where I'm with Rockdale County Fire Rescue. People often ask me, what is it like? And what do you mean? I already know what they mean.
Right.
But I go ahead and answer them. Fire service is a male-dominated profession. I came from Atlanta Fire, which was a male-dominated department, black. I'm at Rockdale County, which is a white, male-dominated, but it's all the same because we look at it as firefighters.
Right.
I tell people when that fire is blazed up and that building is smoked out, all we know in there with our gear is that somebody's on my left or right, front or back to help me.
That's right.
So I approach it that way. We're all here for the same goal. We all have the same expertise at different levels. So as I moved, Chief Payne and I, who is the Deputy Chief of Operations, I worked with him at that level. He's still my Deputy Chief. And then I promoted up Sharon Webb, who had been with Rockdale County Fire for 20 years, came as an administrative assistant, went through fire school, and just worked her way up.
Wow.
And so my team, we really gel together. I have people that support me and are brave enough and courageous enough to say, "Hey, Chief, can we think about that? Can we hold? I know you can do that, but let's roll back." And that is a very key important component to success.
I love it. I just have one last question for you. One last question. And you pretty much gave one nugget towards this, but what advice and encouragement can you share to women who are pursuing their dreams? But one thing that I like that you said that I want to hone in on, when you ask for help, be ready to receive it.
Absolutely.
And take it.
Absolutely.
Don't just ask for it and then that's just it.
Right.
Be able to receive it and take it.
That's true. I was raised in Atlanta, in government housing. When people say, I'm a Grady baby, I say I am a Grady baby. I was born at Grady. My mom worked at Grady.
That's so rare to find someone that's from Atlanta.
Absolutely.
That's a Grady baby.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so when I tell people, they say, "Where are you from?" I say, "Atlanta." And they say, "Where are you raised?" I said, "Grady Homes." They say, "No." I was like, "What does that mean? Do you feel that people are raised in government housing are worthless or nothing?" I mean, what do you mean? Because that's the reaction most often I get.
Wow.
It's crazy. So what I say to you young women and young men, all of you, is that regardless of where you come from, regardless of who you are, nobody can knock you down but yourself.
That's
you
right.
can be anything that you want to be as long as you believe in yourself and you work hard at it. Just know it's not going to be easy, but it's okay. If you stay for it and push hard, you'll make it. But sometimes you may have to veer off to the right. That's okay too. Because once again, I was 36. So for 35 years, childhood up to adult, I was doing something else. And I realized that I was meant for more than that. And so I ventured out. I worked hard. I reached out to those people that I feel that can support me. And support is not someone always saying, girl, you're right. Support is saying, no, you're wrong as well. So for you out there, just push forward. Always believe in yourself. Always remember, when you ask for help, be ready. Know that you're ready to receive that help. And if for anything you don't understand, don't ever hesitate to get clarity. You have to have clarity and guidance.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here from a woman of influence who started from the lower level all the way to the fire chief, first African-American Black woman, fire chief for Rockdale County. I have to give you a round of applause because I am so proud of you, my friend, my sister.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here this afternoon.
Thank you for having me. As I walked in, I said, it's just been a rough day. It's been Friday, but and offered to settle me down. I said, let's just roll with it, and I felt good.
You did wonderful.
It feels really good. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
Oh, it's on. Release the meteor! Whoa!
He's looking at you, kid.
I dig it.
That felt pretty great.
Welcome back to Insights with Anika. Wow, what a very, very good first show that we had with the first Black Chief of Fire, Marian McDaniel. I'm so excited that we had the opportunity to have her on the show. What a very good first guest to have as we look to encourage and to inspire women. If Insights with Anika can help a new wave of women carve their path, I know we will see many, many more women walk in the same confident direction. We will leave a permanent pathway for future generations to come. Alone, you have the power, but women together, we are a force. You can join Insights with Anika every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. We're excited about this podcast, and we hope that you join us every Tuesday at 7:30. Until then, stay safe. Have a good evening. This is Anika Inman.
We the undeniable, royalty indefinable. Don't need the perfect day for my victory to be had. The rain is just clearing my path. We roll on.